My first gaming system was an Atari 2600 pre-owned.
Yes.
And it had 20 games, cartridges came with it. How I came into possession of it was in the newspaper back in those days, they had the want ads. I don't know if they still do it anymore. Kind of like Craigslist where people sell shit and whatnot. So my dad was looking through the want ads. I wanted, like, you know, I was always bugging him. Please, can we get an Atari 2600? Please, I just want to play Pac-Man at home. Everybody I know has one and stuff, except John Kovic, who has Intellivision. But please, please, can I get one? So finally, you know, they had 3 kids to raise and we were kind of poor. But my father found in the want ads, somebody was selling an Atari 2600 and 20 games for a very reasonable price. And so this being the early 80s, we got in a car and drove 45 minutes out to Freehold Township and went to this farmhouse where we knocked on the door as a family, like, because buying a video game unit was a big deal.
Yeah.
Mind you, my parents were progressive. We had a video game unit in the house prior to the Atari 2600, but it was something my mom bought on sale, like at Two Guys when apparently they didn't work out. It was a triangular system. One end had a gun in it because there was a shooting game. One end had a steering wheel on it and a gear shift, and the other end had Pong turn knobs on it. That looked grosser than I meant, but Pong turn knobs on it and stuff. So we had that, and the cartridges were like triangular and shit. I forget the name of but this 2600, this is the one that I was like, please, this will make me normal like everybody else. So the whole family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and me, go to this farmhouse, park, knock on the door. Father opens the door, brings us into the house. 3 kids, like roughly my age, you know, and I was like early, you know, aughts, so 11, 12, sitting on the couch, looking so fucking broken, so sad, as if they had just found out like a pet animal had died. And so my dad and the farmer dad talked money and stuff like that. And then I, you know, was curious, naturally curious. So I said to one of the kids, I was like, why don't you want this anymore? And they were like, we do. He's selling it because, and they pointed to the brother, because he got an F in history. And so suddenly I was like, oh my God, I'm complicit in the misery of another child.
Oh, no.
Something you never want to experience as a kid. As a kid, you know, it's always like us versus the fucking adults and shit, solidarity. But I wanted that video game system real fucking bad. So rather than be like, you know, let's get out of here, which I think my parents would have killed me. Like, we came all the way here. And my brother and sister would have been like, fuck whatever he says. We're getting this fucking game. But I didn't speak up. I was just like, you know, I shrugged, gave him the sucks to be you face. And then we went home and I enjoyed the Atari 2600 for the next 4 years or whatever. I drove past that house periodically when I went out to the Freehold Raceway Mall. And, you know, I'm a writer, so of course you write the rest of the history of that family and what happened and how it dissolved, you know, perhaps in mayhem and murder based on the cruel punishment of their Atari being sold for a lone F in history. Like, oh my God. So my first, my Atari 2600 came with blood on its joystick, man.